Hey, everybody. This is the People's Commissioners Court planning team. Right? We're the planning team. My name is Alexander Montalvo. I'm co-founder and part of the core team for Terror for Change.
I'm Sabrina Ball with Indivisible 12.
I'm Harriet Harrell with the Justice Network.
And I'm Catherine Godfrey with the Justice Network.
All right, what we're doing today is we're going to give you some updates around what's happening in December. We're testing out this live stream platform with Restream because we want to continue to upgrade the accessibility of the People's Commissioners Court to everybody. So we've had 2 People's Commissioners Courts so far in October and November, and we're going to have one in December. But before we get to talking about that, we want to let you guys know about what's happening starting tomorrow. So tomorrow we have an event. Who wants to talk about that?
We have an agenda Zoom, and that is going over the regular Commissioners Court agenda for next Tuesday. They tend to be long and complicated, and it takes all of us to figure out what in the heck is going on in that agenda and to decide what we're going to talk about on Tuesday. What are the important issues that the community needs to know about?
And you can sign up for that. How do they sign up, Alex?
So on the People's Commissioners Court Instagram, we have a flyer that has a QR code and a link. The link is a short link, so it's not too hard to type in if you need to do that, but you can register for the Zoom session. And last month when we rolled this out, after hearing from community feedback that this is something that they wanted, it was a great opportunity to really do a deep dive and ask questions of what is this agenda item? And you had a group of people online researching to try to get a handle on it, and then people making decisions. Okay, I'm going to sign up for public comment on this issue. I'm going to sign up for public comment on this issue. And then people started to work on their speeches.
Right, very helpful. And since the council has moved to one meeting a month, these agendas, as Sabrina said, with all of the attachments, are something like 400 pages. So it's outrageous, and it's good for us to come together and work together to make sense of it.
Yep. Well, we're preparing for the People's Commissioners Court because that's going to be on what day?
December 9th.
Next Tuesday. 10 a.m. You want to talk about how does a Commissioners Court meeting go starting at 10 a.m.?
Yeah, it's at 10 a.m. You arrive early to get a parking spot in the county garage, which is 2 blocks east of the G.K. Manius Administration Building, 100 East Weatherford. That's the administration building where the Commissioners Court meeting is held. You get there early to get a parking spot and go to the 5th floor of the administration building. You have to walk through a
metal
detector like they have at airports now. You need to get there somewhat early if you want a seat in the regular room. They usually have overflow rooms. You have to sign up to speak by 5 p.m. the day before, so that would be Monday, December 8th. And all you have to do is Google Tarrant County Commissioners Court agenda, and that will get you to the one of those pages where it'll be easy for you to tell that you have to sign up to speak. And they have all the instructions right there for you. Be sure to read the rules of decorum. And
Are we going to post the link?
Yeah, so
Yes.
One of the opportunities is the Zoom we mentioned tomorrow. We'll have information about that. Once the agenda is live, you can sign up to speak. So we'll make an announcement on social media about that either later today or tomorrow. And then, if anybody needs help, you can message us. You can comment on this live, on any other post, send us a DM, and we'll walk you through that information. We're probably going to work with some folks like maybe the 817 podcast team to do a little how-to video. And so we'll see if we can get that for y'all before next Tuesday's meeting. But because these agendas are so long, they always have the potential to go really long. But then they're packing so much in their consent agenda to where one vote gets through so many pages of the agenda all at once. So you just kind of never know when your time is going to be to speak or what kind of things are happening. But we want to encourage as many people as possible to engage and participate, to see how the Commissioners Court works, to have your voice heard, and to continue to advocate for the changes that we need within our county.
I do want to say, I'm sorry, Harriet. I do want to say on the consent agenda, it's very helpful to know that you can take something off that consent agenda by signing up to speak to that particular item. So just because it's on that consent agenda and they're not going to talk about it, doesn't mean that you can't ask a question about it or express your opinion. If you sign up to speak, they have to talk. They have to get it off there.
What is a consent agenda?
A consent agenda are all of the items that are relatively standard things. The minutes, for instance, a lot of the standard purchasing kinds of items.
Recognition.
Yeah, well, recognitions are not consent, but things that the commissioners are not wanting to have discussion about. And so that's all lumped together and is voted on at one time. It's one vote and it passes all of those things.
And our fingers are crossed that they've read all those items and that they agree with voting on that. But to Catherine's point, if you make a public comment and ask questions, we've seen over past meetings that then the commissioners have questions and it does get something pulled off because they're like, we should actually talk about this some more. And so the people being there to have their voice heard becomes very powerful because unfortunately there are going to be items that maybe even the commissioners have not adequately reviewed. So when we review it and voice on those things, we get to see if there's an opportunity to make adjustments around something that it passed.
And to a little bit more on that, this county is not transparent. And even when you look at a lot of these agenda items, you can't tell what it's really about. So to simply say you want to speak on one of these items and say, I can't tell what you're voting on here. I want to ask that you table this until you give us more information about it next time. I'm thinking that would be a really good thing to do, just to make the point that we need to have transparency in this county government. Yeah.
One of the things I was going to mention that came up as a request from the People's Commissioner Court meetings was a request for assistance in actually speaking at the meetings because it can feel intimidating, and if you haven't done it before, we want to give some help. So there's going to be some training on actually speaking at the Commissioner's Court.
Which that's a great segue. Our third People's Commissioners Court, which has now been in the press at least 3 times, if not 4, and is being celebrated by people all across the county. When's the next date that we're having that? Who wants to share that?
All together. Tuesday.
December 16th.
At 6 o'clock at blank co-work space.
So we're excited to have the third People's Commissioners Court to end off 2025 strong so that we continue to show everyone and to practice the power of our voice that will no longer be silenced, but that we will speak for change and using our voice to do that. So this month, we're going to continue a little bit of what we started last month. Who wants to share what that's going to look like?
I'd love to, because at the first meeting, we asked what were some of the topics and issues that people wanted to address. There are a lot of them. But the decision was to sort of focus on the jail, the deaths in the jail, and issues related to the jail. So we had an expert, the head of the Texas Jail Project, who came and by Zoom and met with us and provided a lot of information. We also invited Anthony Johnson Jr.'s parents to come, and we watched a video done, an interview with his sisters, which was a very emotional way to learn about the impact of this death in the jail that has been ruled a murder. And so what we've done in both of these meetings has been then to work in small groups to say, what next? What can we do? And our groups discuss specifically what can we do in the area of advocacy, in the area of activism, and in the area of organizing. And what came out of this last meeting, as much as anything, was the need for a people's oversight committee structure of some sort over the jail and over the treatment of people with mental health issues in the jail. And so we will be picking up on that at this meeting on the 16th.
Yeah. So great content is going to be discussed in terms of the efforts around that and education around that. We'll hear from some folks in the mental health perspective, but then included within the People's Commissioners Court is there's a couple of other great things that happen. Sabrina, you want to talk about some of the things we highlight when maybe the organizations that we bring to share with people?
We bring in some mutual aid groups and some other organizations that work in Tarrant County. The mutual aid groups we have brought in at the first one were Funky Town Fridge and Fort Worth Community Collaborative. Those are both groups that supply clothing and food to needy families in Tarrant County. And we had League of Women Voters. Who else did we have last time? It was just League of Women Voters. And we just discuss how our organizations can work together to speak and create change. And we eat first.
I was
Yes.
going to say.
Yeah, who wants to talk about the potluck?
Yes, it is a lovely dinner to start. We have trouble rounding people up to actually talk about the
Because someone
issues.
said, if it's a People's Commissioners Court, it's got to be a potluck. And people have brought fabulous food from chili to, what was it, Inari sushi?
Yes.
That was a
And,
big winner.
Fried
Yeah.
chicken
Yeah.
and wonderful desserts. And so that is fun. And it's a time for people to get to know each other. And it's a very warm, energetic, supportive group.
And it's all different kinds of people.
It's very different. Plus, you have we thought 3 minutes to speak, make your public comments, but my gosh, if you go over it, nobody's going to take you out. And we clap. We're glad that people speak.
Yes.
And so that and the potluck, it just creates this wonderful kind of community energy. And we really hope you'll want to be part of it.
Very different from the regular commission.
Very different.
So this is us building community, but also building power. And this is us moving forward with solutions that the people want to see happen. And while we want our government to be functional and that they are doing the work on behalf of community and the people, the power ultimately lies with us. And we are shown with the People's Commissioners Court that we can come together and take actions and influence change because of us using our power together. So be a part of the community. Come join us on December 16th. You can RSVP. Also, there's a sign up through our Instagram page. We'll be posting again about that here pretty soon. And then you'll be able to sign up to bring food for the potluck, sign up for public comments, and just continue to support this effort. So we look forward to seeing everyone December 16th.
Thank you. Bye.